So, we're about to jump into this incredible collection of timeless advice. These are Proverbs from King Solomon, stuff that was considered so important, so crucial, that scribes for another king, Hezekiah, curated them hundreds of years later. You can really think of this as an ancient playbook designed to help us navigate the complexities of life, leadership, relationships, even our own minds.
And the whole collection kicks off with this really powerful idea. It frames wisdom not as something that's just handed to you on a silver platter, but as a hidden treasure that you have to uncover. And you know what? That's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to take on that royal honor and search out the matter, digging deep into the practical wisdom packed into these verses. All right, so what did these royal scribes actually dig up? What insights were so valuable that they felt they had to be preserved for anyone trying to live an honorable, successful life? Well, let's find out. Okay, first up, they found what is basically a masterclass in the art of leadership. And listen, this isn't just for kings or CEOs. This is for anyone who leads a team, a family, or really even just their own life.
The advice here is just so practical. Verse 5 tells us, "Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness." The insight is crystal clear. Your leadership is only as strong and as good as the people you surround yourself with. Then verses 6 and 7 give this brilliant strategic advice on humility. Basically, don't hype yourself up. It's way, way better to be recognized for your actual worth and invited to a higher position than it is to push yourself forward and get publicly humbled. It's a powerful lesson in playing the long game.
Next, the playbook shifts its focus to how we interact with each other. There's this whole section on the art of communication, and it gets right to the point that our words can be these incredible tools for building things up, or they can be devastating weapons for tearing everything down.
I mean, what a beautiful image, right? This isn't just about saying the right thing. It's about saying the right thing at the perfect time in exactly the right way. It's valuable, it's rare, and it's perfectly set. This proverb just elevates great communication to a true art form. And then you get the flip side. Verse 18 shows the dark side of words, and it's brilliant. Notice the three different weapons here. A maul is a giant hammer. It's for crushing. A sword is for slashing up close and personal. And a sharp arrow is for piercing someone from a distance. The point is that lies and slander don't just do one kind of damage. They inflict multiple types of harm all at once. There's the blunt force trauma, the deep personal wounds, and the long-range attack on someone's reputation.
Okay, this one is one of my favorites, mainly because it's so counterintuitive. We tend to think that power is loud and forceful, right? But this proverb argues that real influence, true power, lies in patience, in long forbearing, and in gentle persuasion. A soft tongue doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strategic, calm, and persistent. It suggests that with enough patience, you can change even the most rigid, hardened things, the very bone of a situation.
So from those high-stakes moments of persuasion, the playbook kind of zooms out to our regular, everyday social lives. And this section is basically an ancient guide to not being an annoying or untrustworthy person. And honestly, it is startlingly relevant. I mean, how simple and profound is this? Verse 9 gives us a two-step plan for any disagreement. First, go to the person directly. Don't gossip about it, don't try to get other people involved, and definitely don't post about it online. Just go to them. Second, while you're making your case, don't betray someone else's secret just to score a point. It's all about resolving the issue while keeping your integrity intact.
And here we've got a rapid-fire round of social genius. Verse 17 warns us to give people their space or they'll eventually get sick of us. Verse 20 shows some incredible emotional intelligence. Trying to force someone who's grieving to be cheerful is like taking away a garment in cold weather. It doesn't help, it's just cruel. And finally, from verses 21 and 22, the ultimate power move: feed your enemy. It says this action keeps coals of fire upon his head. Now, that isn't about some twisted revenge. It's about using overwhelming kindness to create a burning sense of conviction or maybe even shame in them. The imagery in this collection is it's unmatched. This proverb perfectly captures the pain of trusting the wrong person. Relying on someone who's unfaithful when you're in a tough spot isn't just a letdown. It's actively painful and it makes you dysfunctional. Think about it. A broken tooth is a constant nagging pain. A dislocated foot makes it impossible to move forward. And that's exactly what an unfaithful friend does to you right when you need them the most.
All right, now I get to a character who shows up again and again in this playbook, the fool. And it's so important that we understand this.
In Proverbs, a fool has nothing to do with IQ. It's a diagnosis of someone's character. It's all about a stubborn, destructive mindset. So, what makes a fool a fool? Well, according to verses 11 and 12 of chapter 26, it really boils down to two things. First, they are wise in his own conceit, just drowning in an arrogance that traps them. And second, they're completely unable to learn from their mistakes. The imagery used is graphic. They're like a dog that returneth to his vomit, compulsively going back to their same old folly over and over again. This brings us to one of the most brilliant and, at first glance, contradictory pieces of advice in the entire book. Verse 4 says, "Answer not a fool according to his folly." But then, the very next verse says, "Answer a fool according to his folly." So which one is it? Well, the reasons they give are the key. Verse 4 is basically saying, don't get down in the mud with them. Don't adopt their flawed logic or their angry tone, because then you just become like them. But verse 5 says you do have to answer them. You have to address their foolishness and expose the flaws in their argument, because if you don't, they'll just stay wise in his own conceit, completely trapped in their arrogance. It's a masterful guide to strategic engagement. So, after all this advice about leading others and communicating well and dealing with difficult people, the playbook brings it all home. It comes down to the final and most important battlefield, yourself. The idea is that all that external wisdom rests on a foundation of internal self-control. The text shows that a lack of self-mastery is just its own kind of foolishness. Verse 25:16 uses the example of honey. Sure, honey's good, but if you eat too much of it, you'll vomit it. A good thing literally becomes poison because you had no restraint. And then verse 25:27 makes a really similar point about our ego. For men to search their own glory is not glory. That desperate chase for recognition is, ironically, the most unglorious thing you can possibly do. Both are just failures of self-regulation.
And this is the climax of the whole section. Just let that image sink in for a second. An ancient city that has no walls is completely defenseless. It's vulnerable to every single enemy. It's open to chaos. It can't protect its own citizens or its treasures. That, the proverb says, is what a person with no self-control is like. Without rule over your own spirit, your temper, your appetites, your ego, you are fundamentally unsafe and living in a state of chaos.
And so this entire ancient playbook really boils down to one final, very personal question. If you look at your own life, your temper, your words, your ambitions, your habits, which wall in your city has been broken down? Which part of your inner self is left defenseless and needs rebuilding? That's the challenge that's left for us to figure out.